Alright, I want to add these three fractions. If you have not watched my video on finding least common denominators, you might go watch that first so this makes sense to you. The first thing I'm going to do is what's called a prime factor tree, where I take each one of these denominators and write them as their prime factors. Well, 3 is already prime. 9 would be 3 times 3. 12 would be 3 times 4, and 4 is not prime because it can be broken down as 2 times 2. So to find the least common denominator, I look in each column, each one of these columns, and if there's something in common, I only write it down once. Well, I see each one has a 3 in common, so I only write it down once. And then I take what's left over, which is another 3, a 2, and a 2, and I multiply all these together, and you should get 36. So your least common denominator is 36. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these fractions and I'm going to write equivalent fractions for each one of these with a denominator of 36. So this is kind of like the lesson raising fractions to higher terms. So that's a good video to watch too. So what I do is I look to see how did 3 become a 36. Well, if I multiplied by 12, then I would get 36. So I have to multiply the top by 12 as well to keep an equivalent fraction, and 1 times 12 is just simply 12. I look at how did 9 get to 36. That would be by multiplying 4. So I multiply the top by 4 as well to get 32. And then finally I see 12 to 36 would be times 3. So I multiply the top by 3, which would give me 15. So what I've done is I have rewritten each one of these fractions as fractions with common denominators, because when they have common denominators, I now can actually add them. So just rewrite each one of these here. Remember, if the denominators are the same, you can add them and keep the same denominator. So if I add 12 plus 32 plus 15, I get 59, and you keep the same denominator. Now I want to convert this to a mixed number, so another lesson if you haven't watched converting improper fractions into mixed numbers. 36 will go into 59 only one time, and the remainder, 59 minus 36, is 23, and then I keep the same denominator for my final answer.